Hey guys, welcome back and wish you all a very happy new year. Hope you all had a lovely kind of Christmas festive period and enjoyed and made the most of your time off. If you were on a break, I did take a little break and now I'm back in the kitchen to cook some delicious, lovely recipes for you guys. The first recipe to go out this year is beetroot and Gobhi's parathas. Gobhi's cauliflower. So beetroot cauliflower parathas. Really simple recipe, but very healthy and easy to make. So let's not waste any time and start cooking. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every time I share a new recipe, which is often 2-3 times a week. So let's get started. So it's beetroot parathas flatbread, and obviously the first thing we need is beetroot. I'm going to use a couple of medium-sized beetroots to begin with. And I'm using a small piece of ginger and I'm just going to chop it up into tiny pieces. Again, this will be blitzed after cooked, so that's why I'm not going to waste any time trying to chop it into small pieces. A nice hot pan and a couple of tablespoons of oil. I am actually today using some olive oil. So once it's nice and hot, in goes a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Then the ginger. Next, the beetroot. This actually smells really good with the ginger and cumin. In goes a couple of tablespoons of water, just enough to kind of help cook the beetroot. Cover and let this cook for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes in, and this is looking really lovely. I'm just going to let this cool down for 10 minutes and then puree it. For those of you who want a written recipe for these beetroot flatbreads, I have this gorgeous book, Chetna's Healthy Indian Vegetarian, which kind of is a great time to try something from here in January. There's lots of vegan stuff, and the stuff that is vegetarian and it is not vegan, you can easily swap the things and make it vegan. So the beetroot rotis are in here. Beetroot chapati is there, but so the chapati recipe is this, but I'm going to fill it up with some cauliflower and make it cauliflower paratha. So but the basic recipe is from this book. I'll leave the link in the description below. So I've got the beetroot mix in a blender and I'm going to blitz it to a puree. So for the dough, I have got here 300 grams of chapati flour, which is also called atta, and you can usually find this in Asian shops or actually even supermarket stock chapati flour. So to this flour, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of garam masala. Just give it a mix and then add the puree. Look at that beautiful color. This beetroot mixture smells amazing. So it's not about just adding kind of some pureed beetroot. It's about, with the beetroot, adding some lovely flavors as well. Give it a mix before adding any water, because you might need just very little water after adding the puree. Just going to add a little bit because you don't want to overdo the water. That is just beautiful. Like with any other dough, I'm gonna cover and let this rest in a box for 5 to 10 minutes, and that will going to give me enough time to prepare the filling. So I'm using the same bowl for the filling, and for the filling I have this beautiful cauliflower. I obviously don't need all of it because I am only going to make 8 to 10 parathas. So I'm just going to use a really thick, really kind of coarse grater, and I'm going to chop it into pieces. So I'm going to be using around half a cauliflower. Just cut some florets and then grate this. It's the easiest way to do that. So that's the cauliflower done. Now to add the few spices into this. So I've got around 3/4 teaspoon of salt in here. Also going to add some chili powder. I'm using half a teaspoon. You can use more if you want it spicy. And a teaspoon of garam masala goes in as well. Now for one of my favorite spices, carom seeds, which is ajwain, a teaspoon of that. It's got like a lovely aniseedy flavor, and I absolutely love it. Good mix, and then just going to add the last little bits. Usually I would add some fresh green or red chilies, but currently I haven't got any at home, so I'm just adding some chopped up coriander. So if you're going to make just the beetroot chapatis as it is without the filling, then this makes around 12 chapatis, but because I'm making parathas, it uses a bit more dough, so it might make only up to 8 to 10 parathas, depending on how big your parathas is. So I'm going to start and see if this can do. Yeah, I think 8 parathas is what we're going to get from this much dough. I just love the color. So take a portion, and this is called chakla and belan. This is Indian kind of rolling pin for flatbreads. I bought this with me when I came to UK almost 2 decades ago. So this is a really old one. So you roll the kind of dough into some flour, and then you make it big enough so that the filling could just sit in. So as big as your palm of your hand, and then we put a handful of this cauliflower mix into it, and then just pinch all the sides like this, and make sure if a little bit comes out, it comes out. It doesn't really matter. We're just cooking for ourselves and our family, so it doesn't have to be kind of perfect. And just press it so it kind of seals the cauliflower into the dough. If you start rolling straight away, you are bound to get a little burst of cauliflower on the side. But if you press it for a bit, then the chances are less. But because cauliflower has got moisture, it's got a lot of water, it does tend to burst at some point. Whereas if you're making potato parathas, which is aloo parathas, that doesn't happen much. Right, so there it is, rolled and ready. I've got a nice hot pan, and I'm just going to cook this for a couple of minutes on each side, and while that is cooking, I'm going to roll out a couple more parathas. can see it's getting a bit of color. I'll give it a couple more minutes on the other side. Once both sides are cooked, just put a drizzle of oil. Now if you want to go really super healthy, then you can just eat it without putting any oil at all, and that is so healthy. But I'm just going to add a tiny bit of oil. You can also cook this in ghee. If you are not making this purely vegan, then you can cook this with ghee as well. Oh, just such stunning, beautiful colors. Once it's cooked nicely, it's crispy, it's golden, then we can get this on the plate and cook the rest of the parathas. And so far this is a delicious vegan recipe, but if you are not vegan, then you can serve it with some lovely salted butter and a bit of yogurt if you fancy that. Look at that, just look at that, come close. Look at that delicious, gorgeous filling, beautiful. And super simple to make, as you can see. Oh, this is joy. Pure. You think beetroot and cauliflower, yes, they both have their own flavors, but there is so much flavor in there combined together. These are divine. They are great if you want to make them the day before, in the night. You can roll them up. It's so cold in the kitchen. You can roll them up, leave them on covered in a foil, take it for your lunch. So this is great for packed lunch. This is absolutely delicious. I really hope you'll give this a go. Don't forget to subscribe, and Happy New Year once again. I'll see you back very soon with another new recipe. Bye guys. This is comfort food.